I'm Sierra, I'm 16, and 2 weeks ago, my parents left me a note. Stay out of sight, freak. My whole family, my dad, my stepmom, my step-siblings, they were 3 miles away at a country club, toasting champagne, pretending I didn't exist. I thought that was the worst part. I was wrong. Because at 8:47 p.m., the doorbell rang, and the woman standing on my porch said 5 words that changed everything. Your father signed you away. What happened after that, at the gala, in front of 300 people, I still can't believe it myself. Before I tell you, please hit like and subscribe, but only if this story earns it. And while you're here, drop your city and your local time in the comments. I always love seeing where you all are. Now let me take you back to the morning of April 12th, my 16th birthday. I wake up to silence, not the lazy Saturday kind, where you can hear someone making coffee downstairs or the TV humming through the wall. This is the hollow kind, the kind where you know, before your feet even hit the floor, that you're alone. My bedroom is at the end of the third-floor hallway. It's the smallest room in the house. No window facing the garden, no ensuite, no walk-in closet. I got moved here when I was 6, 2 years after my mom died, because Chloe needed my old room for her vanity setup. That's what Victoria said. Chloe needs the space, sweetie, you understand? I understood. I walk downstairs barefoot. The kitchen is cold. There are dishes in the sink from last night. 4 plates, 4 glasses, 4 sets of silverware. They had dinner without me. Again. I didn't even hear them. I open the fridge for milk, and that's when I see it. A note. Stuck to the fridge door with a magnet shaped like a lobster from our Cape Cod trip. A trip I wasn't invited to. The handwriting is Chloe's. Pink highlighter, big loopy letters like she was decorating a poster for homecoming. Dad's hosting brunch at the club. Don't come. Stay out of sight, freak. See. I read it 3 times. Not because I don't understand it, because I keep hoping I'll misread it. Freak. That's what they call me when they think I can't hear. But this time, Chloe wrote it down, made it permanent, stuck it on the fridge next to the grocery list like it belongs there. Then I noticed something else. At the bottom of the note, in small blue ink, my father's handwriting. Neat, slanted, controlled. 2 words and an initial. V will explain later. G. Victoria will explain what exactly, and explain what later. I should tell you how we got here. My mom, Lillian Merritt, died in a car accident when I was 4. I don't remember the funeral. I remember her hands. I remember the way she smelled like lavender and oil paint. And I remember a bracelet. Silver, thin, with a tiny star charm, because she never took it off. It's on my wrist right now. It's been on my wrist since the day my dad handed it to me in a plastic hospital bag and said, this was hers. That was the last soft thing he ever gave me. 2 years after Mom died, Dad married Victoria Ashford. She moved in with her 2 kids, Chloe, who was 8, and Brandon, who was 10. Overnight, I went from being the only child in a quiet house to being the odd one out in a loud one. It happened slowly, the way rot does. First, my mom's paintings disappeared from the living room. We're redecorating, Victoria said. Then her photos came off the hallway wall. It's healthier for Grant to move forward. Then the anniversary of her death passed without a word. No flowers, no candle, nothing. And every year, I shrank a little more. Last Christmas, Victoria hired a photographer for a family portrait. I came downstairs in my nicest sweater. Victoria looked at me and said, "Oh, we didn't want to bother you. You always look so uncomfortable in photos." The portrait hangs in the dining room now. Grant, Victoria, Chloe, Brandon, 4 smiles, no Sierra. I told my dad it hurt. You know what he said? "Don't make this harder than it needs to be, Sierra." My mom left me this bracelet. My dad once tried to give it to Chloe for her junior prom. I hid it in my sock drawer for a week. But what I didn't know, what nobody told me, was that my mother left me something else. Something much bigger than a bracelet. I stand in the kitchen for a long time after reading that note. Then I do something stupid. Or maybe something brave. I'm still not sure which. I open the pantry, find a box of vanilla cake mix that's been there since Chloe's last birthday, and I make myself a cupcake. 1 cupcake. In a single ramekin, because I can't find the muffin tin. I stick a birthday candle in it, one of those cheap ones from the junk drawer, already half melted from some other celebration that wasn't mine. I light it with the stove, and I sing, "Happy birthday to you." My voice cracks on the second line. By the third, I can barely get the words out. I blow out the candle. I don't make a wish. I stopped wishing for things from this family a long time ago. I pick up my phone. No texts. No missed calls. Not from Dad. Not from Victoria. Not from Chloe or Brandon. Zero. I scroll through my camera roll because I don't know what else to do with my hands, and I find it. The only photo I have of my mother. It's blurry, taken on an old phone, maybe by a nurse. Mom's holding me. I'm maybe 3. She's smiling at the camera, and on her wrist, the same silver bracelet I'm wearing right now. I sit on the kitchen floor. I pull my knees up, and I cry. Not because of the note, not because of the party I wasn't invited to. I cry because I finally hear the thing I've been whispering to myself for 12 years, and for the first time, I let it be loud. I've been apologizing for existing in this house for 12 years, and no one ever told me to stop. The clock on the microwave reads 8:47 p.m. The doorbell rings. I almost don't answer it. I'm glad I did. I wipe my face with the back of my hand, toss the candle in the trash, and walk to the front door. I figure it's a package. Maybe a neighbor's DoorDash left at the wrong house. It's not. There's a woman on my porch. Late 50s maybe. Silver-streaked hair, pulled back in a low twist. Gray blazer over a white blouse, like she just came from court. She's holding a large brown envelope. Thick, the kind with a metal clasp. And her eyes are red. Not like she's been drinking. Like she's been crying. She sees me and goes very still. "You look just like her," she says. I don't know what to say to that. Like who? Your mother. I haven't heard a stranger say that word, mother, in connection to me in years. It hits me somewhere behind my ribs. Who are you? My name is Dorothy Kessler. I'm an attorney, and I was your mother Lillian's closest friend. I've never heard this name, not once. Dad never talks about Mom's friends. Dad never talks about Mom at all. Dorothy glances past me into the dark house. Are you alone? Yeah. Something tightens in her jaw. She looks at the note still stuck to the fridge. She can see it from the doorway. She reads it. I watch her face change. Then she sits down on the porch step, right next to me, like she's known me my whole life. And in a calm, steady voice, the kind of voice that tells you bad news without making you feel small, she says, "Did your father ever tell you about your mother's will?" I shake my head. Your father signed away his parental rights this morning. He filed the papers at 9 a.m. on your birthday. Do you understand what that means? I don't. Not fully. It means, legally, he is no longer your father. And that triggered something your mother put in place 16 years ago. We sit at the kitchen table, the same one where 4 plates were used without me last night, and Dorothy makes tea. She moves around the kitchen like she's memorizing it, like she's angry at the walls. How long have you been looking for me? I ask. 12 years. She sets the mug in front of me. Your father changed his number 6 months after Lillian passed, moved from Stamford to Westport, told mutual friends you were at a boarding school in New Hampshire. I hired a private investigator twice. Dead ends both times. So, how did you find me now? Because your father made a mistake. When he filed the papers to relinquish custody, it triggered a flag, a legal alert your mother's attorney set up when the will was drafted. The moment Grant Merritt stopped being your legal parent, I was notified. I stare at the envelope on the table. What's in there? Dorothy opens it slowly. Inside is a stack of yellowed papers with a notary seal, a smaller sealed envelope, and a photograph I don't recognize. This, she says, holding up the notarized document, is your mother's original will. She made it the year you were born. Your father told everyone it didn't exist, but it does. I have the original because Lillian gave it to me for safekeeping. She explains it simply. Mom owned things. The house we're sitting in, a cabin in Vermont, a piece of land in Maine, a trust fund meant for my education, and a collection of paintings from my grandmother's side. All of it was left to me. Only me. Managed by a guardian until I turned 18. That guardian was supposed to be Dorothy. And the house? I whisper. This house? It's yours, Sierra. It was always yours. He just never told you. Dorothy touches the smaller sealed envelope, but doesn't open it. There's a letter in here, from your mother. But I think you should read it when you're ready. Not tonight? Then she tells me the rest. Grant is planning to transfer all of Mom's assets to a charity foundation, one run by Victoria. The announcement is at the annual gala, in 2 weeks. We have 14 days to stop him, Dorothy says, and I'm going to need your help. I sit there for a long time after Dorothy finishes talking. The tea goes cold. Everything I thought I knew, about the house, about my mom leaving nothing behind, about being some burden my dad was stuck with, it's all a lie. A 12-year-old lie with paperwork and planning and silence thick enough to bury me in. I've spent 12 years trying to be invisible, I say, and my voice sounds far away like someone else is using it. Because they wanted me to be. I don't know how to be anything else. Dorothy reaches into her bag and pulls out a photograph. 2 young women, arms around each other, standing on the steps of a law school building. One of them is Dorothy, younger, dark-haired, laughing. The other is my mother. She's radiant. She looks like someone who doesn't know how to be small. Your mother was the bravest woman I ever knew, Dorothy says. You have her eyes. She pauses. I think you have her spine too. I look at the photo, then at my bracelet. The little star charm catches the light. What do I have to do? Dorothy lays it out. Step 1. File for guardianship at family court. She's already submitted the paperwork. Step 2. Get the original will authenticated and entered into record, blocking any transfer of Mom's estate. Step 3. And this is the part that makes my stomach tighten. We have to act before Grant signs the transfer at the gala. If he does it in front of witnesses, unwinding it gets 10 times harder. I'll do it, I say. Dorothy nods, then waits, because she can tell I'm not finished. But I don't want to destroy him. I mean it, even now after the note, after everything. I just want what's mine, and I want him to look me in the eye when he admits what he did. Dorothy reaches across the table and squeezes my hand. We're not going to lie, Sierra. We're just going to tell the truth, at the right time, in the right room. The next morning, Dorothy drives me to her office in New Haven. It's a small firm, 2 rooms above a bakery, smelling like sourdough and printer ink. But the filing cabinet she opens is anything but small. 12 years of records. She shows me the property transfers first. My father moved the title on the Westport house 3 times, each time requiring a guardian's signature, each time signing it himself as my legal parent. He shifted ownership into a revocable trust, then restructured the trust, then folded it into a holding entity, layer after layer, like he was burying something alive. What about the paintings? I ask. Dorothy pulls out a sale receipt. 3 years ago, Grant sold my grandmother's art collection through a private dealer in Manhattan. 8 pieces. The total is a number I've never seen attached to my life before. Not a penny of it reached me. Then she shows me the one that guts me. An account statement. The education trust my mother set up when I was born, funded, growing, untouched for years, was drained 14 months ago. Every cent was redirected to a tuition account, not mine. Chloe's, I say. I don't even need to ask. NYU, full ride would have been Sierra Merritt's. Instead, it's paying for Chloe's dorm in Greenwich Village. He used my college fund to pay for Chloe's dorm room. I sit with that sentence for a minute. It's the kind of sentence that rewrites your whole childhood. Dorothy opens one more file, an email printout. From Grant to his personal attorney dated 3 years ago. It reads, "The girl doesn't need to know anything. She's better off not knowing." The girl. Not my daughter, not Sierra. The girl. My phone buzzes. Dorothy, checking her messages. She looks up and something shifts in her expression. The guardianship hearing just got scheduled, she says. Same day as the gala. I feel the room tilt. Morning court, evening gala. One day, everything. Standing in Dorothy's office, staring at that email. The girl doesn't need to know anything. I felt something snap. Not sadness, something sharper. Like the last thread connecting me to the word father just broke clean off. For 12 years, I thought I wasn't enough. Turns out I was too much. Too much of a reminder of what he wanted to steal. I kept wondering, what kind of person looks at their own child and sees an obstacle? Have you ever discovered someone you trusted was lying about everything? Tell me in the comments. I want to hear your story too. I have to go back. Dorothy explains it calmly. Until the court grants her guardianship, I don't have a legal address anywhere else. If I disappear, Grant could file a missing persons report, and that delays everything. So I pack my bag, ride back to Westport, and walk through the front door like nothing happened. No one notices I was gone. 2 days. Not a single question. Victoria is in the kitchen when I walk in. She's on the phone, laughing, holding a glass of sparkling water. She sees me and covers the mic. "Oh, there you are. Grab me the sparkling water, would you? This one's flat." Like I'm the help. I open the fridge, I take my time, and I look, really look, at this house I've lived in for 16 years with new eyes. The family portrait on the wall, 4 people, no Sierra. The fresh flowers on the entry table that Victoria orders weekly, always white peonies, Mom's favorite, though Victoria doesn't know that. Or maybe she does. And then I see it. Victoria's hand, on the counter. The ring. My mother's engagement ring. I recognize it from the one photo I have. A round-cut diamond on a platinum band with 2 small sapphires. Dad told me years ago it was lost. But there it is, on Victoria's finger, catching the afternoon light like it belongs there. My stomach turns. On the dining table, a pile of cream-colored envelopes, invitations. I pick one up. The Merritt Family Foundation Annual Gala. The logo on the front is elegant, a stylized L intertwined with a vine. I stare at it. That's my mother's monogram. I've seen it in her sketchbooks. Victoria took my mother's initial and made it her charity's logo. Chloe breezes past the kitchen. "Why are your eyes red? Were you crying again? God, you're so dramatic." I say nothing. Dorothy's voice in my head. "Don't let them know you know. Not yet." I put the sparkling water on the counter and walk upstairs. Slowly, like I'm made of glass. But inside, something is hardening. Over the next few days, I become a ghost with open ears. I learn that the gala is bigger than I thought. Victoria's been planning it for 6 months. 300 guests. A string quartet, catered by the same company that does events for the governor's mansion. There will be a local councilman, 2 state reps, the president of the Westport Historical Society, and, this part makes my chest tight, a reporter from the Fairfield Herald doing a feature on Connecticut's most generous families. I hear Victoria rehearsing her speech in the bedroom one night, the door cracked open. This foundation is Grant's way of honoring Lillian's memory by giving her legacy to the community. I press my back against the hallway wall and close my eyes. She's going to stand in front of 300 people and say my mother's name while signing away my mother's things. That night, I call Dorothy from the bathroom with the shower running for cover. 300 people, I whisper. Press, politicians. Dorothy is quiet for a moment. Then, "That's not honoring her memory, Sierra. That's laundering her assets through a charity they control." She confirms the timeline. The guardianship hearing is set for 10 a.m. on the day of the gala. Gala starts at 7 p.m. If the judge rules in our favor in the morning, Dorothy has the legal authority to act by evening. What if the judge says no? I ask. The silence lasts 3 seconds. It feels like 30. Then we lose everything. Your mom's house, the trust, all of it goes into that foundation, and getting it back could take years, if it's even possible. I hang up. I sit on the edge of the bathtub. The shower is still running, filling the room with steam. 300 people will watch Victoria steal my mother's life, unless I stop it. Then I hear footsteps in the hallway. I freeze. Through the gap under the door, I see a shadow. Someone standing, listening. The shadow moves. I crack the door. Brandon is walking away. He glances back once, expression unreadable, and disappears into his room. Did he hear me? 5 days before the gala, Victoria takes Chloe to Neiman Marcus for a dress fitting. I know because I hear them leaving. Laughing, keys jingling, the garage door rolling open. Nobody tells me. Nobody asks if I want to come. This is the rhythm of the Merritt household. Things happen around me, never for me. That evening, Chloe comes home with a garment bag slung over her arm like she's carrying a trophy. Black floor-length gown. She hangs it on the back of her door and leaves it open so everyone in the hallway can see it. At 9 p.m., Victoria knocks on my bedroom door. She does the thing she always does. Leans against the frame, head tilted, voice laced with synthetic concern. Sweetie, the gala is a family event. Important people will be there. I think it's best if you stay home. You'd just be anxious the whole time. I'm doing this for you. Actually, I say, I was hoping to come. Her eyebrows lift, just barely. A ripple in the mask. Honey, I don't think you have anything appropriate to wear. And honestly, these events aren't really your thing. From the hallway, Chloe's voice. She'll just stand in the corner like she always does. What's the point? I swallow. I nod. I say, okay. Victoria smiles, pats my shoulder, and leaves. I close the door. I text Dorothy 4 words. They told me to stay home. Dorothy's reply comes in 12 seconds. Leave that to me. I have something from your mother's closet. I stare at that message until the screen dims. My mother's closet. My mother still has a closet somewhere. And Dorothy kept it. Then Victoria's voice again, muffled through the wall, almost an afterthought. Oh, and Sierra, your father wants to talk to you tomorrow. Something about paperwork. Paperwork. My hands go cold. The next afternoon, my father calls me into his study. It's the first time he's looked directly at me since my birthday. He's behind his desk. Oak, massive, the kind of desk that says I make the decisions in this house. There's a glass of scotch at his elbow, half empty. Sit down, Sierra. I sit. He starts with a voice I haven't heard in years. Soft, paternal, like he's auditioning for a role he forgot the lines to. I know things have been difficult. I want you to know I'm doing what's best for you. What's best for me? The words land like stones. I've found a school, Phillips Academy, out in Massachusetts. Excellent program, small classes. You'd start in the fall. A boarding school. A fresh start. He leans forward, hands clasped. You'll be happier there, Sierra. Away from all this. Away from all this. He means away from what he did. Away from anyone who might ask questions. Ship the girl to Massachusetts, sign over the estate at the gala, and by the time school starts in September, there's no Sierra in this house, no Sierra on the paperwork, no Sierra at all. I look at him, really look at him. The graying temples, the pressed shirt, the faint tan from the club. He looks like a magazine ad for fatherhood. And it's all surface, every inch of it. He reaches across the desk and puts his hand on my shoulder. Trust me, I'm your father. The words come before I can stop them. Are you? His hand stiffens, his eyes narrow. I recover fast. I mean, are you sure this is the right thing? He pulls back, nods, smiles. That smile. I used to think it was warm. Now I see it for what it is. The smile of a man who's done the math and decided you're not worth the cost. You'll love it, he says. I promise. I stand up, and as I pass his desk, I see it. A stack of documents in a manila folder, half hidden under the Financial Times. The logo on top, Merritt Family Foundation. Below it, in bold, Asset Transfer Agreement. And a date. The night of the gala. I pull out my phone in the hallway, hands trembling. I photograph the folder through the study door, and I send it to Dorothy. Saturday, 4 days out. I tell Victoria I'm going to the library. She doesn't even look up from her phone. Dorothy's office looks different now. The bakery scent is gone, buried under paper and coffee. A whiteboard hangs on the wall with a timeline drawn in red marker. Dates, names, arrows, and a single circled word at the end. Gala. Here's where we are, Dorothy says. She walks me through it, like a general briefing a soldier. Morning, the guardianship hearing at Fairfield Family Court. Dorothy will present the original will, the relinquishment papers Grant signed, and the photographic evidence of the asset transfer agreement. If the judge rules in our favor, Dorothy becomes my legal guardian, effective immediately. That gives her standing to block the estate transfer. Evening. If we have the ruling, we attend the gala with a certified court order freezing all assets of the Lillian Merritt estate. If Grant signs the transfer anyway, it's void. And if he tries to stop us from entering? 300 witnesses, a reporter from the Herald, and a court order. He won't. Then she does something that makes the room go blurry. She opens a closet in the back of her office and pulls out a garment bag. Inside is a dress, cream white, vintage, with delicate lace at the neckline. Simple, elegant, not loud or flashy. The kind of dress that doesn't need to try. Your mom wore this to her first gallery opening, Dorothy says. She walked in and every head turned, not because the dress was expensive, because she knew who she was. I put it on in the bathroom. It fits. It fits like it was waiting for me. I stand in front of the mirror, and for the first time in 12 years, I don't see the freak. I don't see the girl from the third-floor bedroom. I see my mother's daughter. Dorothy watches me from the doorway. She's holding the sealed envelope. Mom's letter. Read it when you feel strong, she says. Not before. I nod. I'm not ready yet. But I will be. 2 nights before the gala, I'm in the kitchen at midnight, drinking water, going over the plan in my head for the 100th time, when the light clicks on. Brandon. He's in sweatpants and a wrinkled t-shirt, hair messy, like he couldn't sleep either. He stands in the doorway for a second, then walks to the fridge, grabs a water bottle, and sits down across from me. We don't talk. We never talk. In 12 years, I can count our real conversations on one hand. Then he says quietly, I know you're planning something. Every muscle in my body locks. I heard you on the phone last week, in the bathroom. He peels the label off his water bottle, not looking at me. I didn't tell Mom. Why not? He's quiet for a long time. Then, because what they did to you on your birthday, that note Chloe wrote, I saw her write it. I was standing right there, and I didn't stop her. He finally looks up. I should have. I don't know what to do with this. 12 years of nothing, and now, at 12:15 a.m. in a kitchen that technically belongs to me, he wants to have a conscience. I don't know what you're doing, Sierra, but whatever it is, be careful. My mom fights dirty. I hold his gaze. I know she does. He stands up, starts to leave, then stops, hand on the doorframe. There's something else. Mom has a lockbox in her closet, under the shoe rack. She told Dad it's jewelry, but I've seen her open it. It's not jewelry. It's papers. My pulse spikes. What kind of papers? I don't know, but she checks it every time something legal happens in this house. He turns to leave again. One more pause. One more thing. Don't trust the charity lawyer, Richard Ashford. He's Mom's cousin. Then he's gone. The kitchen light hums. I sit there, heart pounding, staring at the ceiling. A lockbox. In Victoria's closet. Papers she doesn't want anyone to see. The morning of the gala. 5:30 a.m. The house is dead silent. I have maybe 90 minutes before anyone wakes up. My heart is slamming so hard I can feel it in my teeth. Victoria and Grant's bedroom door is closed. I can hear Grant's CPAP machine through the wall. A low, rhythmic hiss. Victoria sleeps with earplugs and a silk mask. I know this because she reminds everyone, constantly, how sensitive she is to light and sound. I ease the closet door open. It's a walk-in the size of my bedroom. Racks of designer coats, shelves of shoes organized by color. The lockbox is exactly where Brandon said it would be. Bottom shelf, behind a row of riding boots. It's matte black. Combination lock, 4 digits. I try Victoria's birthday. Nothing. Grant's anniversary. Nothing. Then I try Chloe's birthday. October 19th, 1019. Click. Inside, there are 4 items. 1. A photocopy of my mother's will. The same document Dorothy showed me, but this one has handwritten notes in the margin. Red ink, Victoria's handwriting. I know it from every passive-aggressive grocery list she's ever left me. And in the top corner, 3 words circled twice. Keep this away from S. 2. A printed email chain between Grant and his personal attorney. Instructions on restructuring the estate to avoid triggering trust provisions. Dated 18 months ago. 3. The photograph that makes my hands shake. Mom holding me. I'm maybe 2. She's laughing. On the back, in my mother's handwriting. My little star. Everything I have is yours. Victoria kept this, in a locked box, under her boots. And 4. I almost miss it, tucked in the corner. A marriage certificate. Issued in Nevada 9 years ago. Victoria Ashford and a man named Paul Renner. Not Grant Merritt. I stare at it. Victoria married someone else. And this certificate is dated 2 years before she married my father. Was she still married to Paul Renner when she walked down the aisle with Dad? I photograph everything. Close the box, spin the dial, push the boots back, slide the closet shut. In the hallway, I call Dorothy. My voice is barely a whisper. I have proof Victoria knew. She's been helping him the whole time. Good. This changes the hearing. There's something else. Victoria might have been married to someone else when she married my dad. Silence on the line. Then very carefully. Send me the photo. I'll verify it before court. I hang up. My hands won't stop shaking. Upstairs, I hear a toilet flush. Someone's awake. I'm already in my room, door closed, breathing like I just ran a mile. Fairfield Family Court, 10:07 a.m. The fluorescent lights hum like they're nervous, too. I'm sitting in a wooden chair next to Dorothy, wearing jeans and a clean blouse, nothing that draws attention. Dorothy told me to dress like a student, not a plaintiff. Let the documents do the talking, she said. The courtroom is small. 1 judge, 1 clerk, a court reporter whose fingers hover over her keys like a pianist about to play. Judge Patricia Holloway enters. She's in her 60s. Silver glasses, no-nonsense posture. The kind of face that's heard every lie in the state of Connecticut and isn't impressed. Dorothy presents our case. She's calm, precise, unhurried. The will, the notary seal, the relinquishment papers Grant signed on April 12th, the photocopy from Victoria's lockbox with the red ink note, "Keep this away from S." The photograph of the asset transfer agreement dated tonight. The judge reads every page. She doesn't rush. Then the door opens. Richard Ashford, Victoria's cousin, the foundation's lawyer, walks in. He must have been tipped off. He argues that the will is outdated and the estate has been lawfully restructured. Dorothy doesn't flinch. She presents the chain of custody for the original will, notarized, stored at a registered trust bank, never contested, never revoked, never superseded. Judge Holloway removes her glasses. She looks at Richard Ashford for a long moment, then at me. I knew your mother, young lady. She clerked for me 30 years ago. A pause. She was meticulous. And this will is airtight. She puts her glasses back on. Guardianship is granted to Dorothy Kessler, effective immediately. I am also issuing a temporary restraining order freezing all transactions related to the Lillian Merritt estate until a full review is completed. Richard Ashford's pen drops. He doesn't pick it up. Dorothy squeezes my hand under the table. I squeeze back. Outside the courthouse, the April sun is blinding. Dorothy turns to me, leans against the car, and says, "That's step 1. Step 2 happens tonight." She opens the trunk. Inside, a garment bag, a pair of flats, and a brown envelope stamped with the court seal. "Are you ready?" I look at the envelope, then at the sky. "Yeah, I'm ready." Dorothy's apartment, 5:30 p.m. The gala starts at 7. I'm standing in her small bathroom, looking at a stranger. The dress, Mom's cream white dress, fits like a second skin. The lace at the neckline rests just below my collarbone. The hem falls right above my ankles. I'm wearing flats, not heels, because Dorothy said, "You want to be steady, not tall." She helps me pin my hair up, twisting it into a loose bun the way she says Mom used to wear it. A few strands fall around my face. Dorothy's hands pause. "She wore her hair exactly like this at the gallery opening," Dorothy says. Her voice catches. "You could be her twin." I look at my reflection, the silver bracelet on my left wrist, the lace, the way the light hits my jaw. For the first time, I don't look lost. I look like I belong somewhere, just not where I've been. Dorothy hands me the court order in a crisp manila envelope. "If Grant signs the transfer, we serve this. If he doesn't, we serve it anyway. Either way, it's over tonight. What if he makes a scene? He will. But 300 people with phones will be watching. That's exactly what we want. I nod. I pick up the sealed envelope. Mom's letter. I've been carrying it for 2 weeks. I've held it, turned it over, pressed it against my chest in the dark. I haven't opened it. I open it now. The paper is soft, 16 years old. Her handwriting is small and neat, slanting slightly left. If you're reading this, I'm not there anymore. But know this. Everything I built for you. Not for anyone else. Not for your father. For you. If anyone ever makes you feel like you don't belong, remember, you are the reason I stayed up every night planning. You are enough, my little star. I fold the letter. I press it to my lips. On the drive to the country club, neither of us speaks. The sun is going down, painting the sky orange and pink over Long Island Sound. The car stops. I can hear the music from the parking lot. Jazz. Something smooth and expensive. The lot is full of BMWs and Teslas. I hold the letter in one hand and the court order in the other. Mom, I whisper. I hope you can see this. The Fairfield Country Club looks like a wedding venue on steroids. Crystal chandeliers hanging from vaulted ceilings. White tablecloths over round tables set for 10. Candles everywhere. The flickering kind, not the electric kind, because Victoria doesn't do tacky. A jazz quartet in the corner, playing something by Coltrane. Wait staff in black vests gliding between guests carrying trays of champagne flutes and shrimp cocktails. 300 people, maybe more. Every seat taken. And at the far end of the room, near the small stage, my father. Black suit, silver tie. Standing with his hand on Victoria's back, laughing with a man I recognize from the club's board of directors. Victoria is next to him, red dress. Long, fitted, the kind that costs what some people make in a month. And on her left hand, my mother's ring, catching the light every time she gestures. Chloe is at the VIP table near the front, tapping on her phone, looking bored and expensive. Dorothy and I walk through the main entrance. I don't sneak in. I don't use a side door. I walk through the front, in my mother's cream-white dress, with the silver bracelet on my wrist and the court order in my hand. A few heads turn, then more. Then a wave of whispers moves across the room like wind through tall grass. I see it happen in slow motion. Margaret Maggie Dunn, the club's general manager, spots me from across the room. She's been here for 20 years. She worked for my mother. She sees the bracelet. Her hand goes to her mouth. She leans toward a colleague, and I can read her lips. That's Lillian's daughter. Victoria notices next. She's mid-laugh when her eyes find me. The champagne flute freezes halfway to her mouth. The color drains from her face like water from a tub. She grabs Grant's arm, points. My father turns. Our eyes meet across the room. Across 12 years. Across every lie he ever told and every birthday he ever forgot. He stares. Then he smiles. That country club smile. The one built for cameras and strangers. He walks toward me. Slowly. Controlled. He leans in. His voice is low, sharp. Just for me. What are you doing here? I look him dead in the eye. I was invited. His jaw tightens. You need to leave. Now. I don't blink. I don't think I will. Grant's hand closes around my elbow. Not hard enough to bruise, but hard enough to steer. He moves me toward the corner of the room, behind a potted fern the size of a small tree, where the acoustics are bad and the lighting is worse. His voice is a controlled hiss. I don't know how you got in here, but you're leaving. Right now. That's interesting, I say. Because according to the court order issued this morning, I have more right to be here than you do. Something shifts behind his eyes. A fracture in the confidence. Victoria appears, materializing the way she always does, perfectly timed, perfectly composed. She puts her hand on my arm and turns on the voice. The warm one. The PTA one. Sierra, honey, you look lovely, but this isn't really your kind of... Victoria. I keep my voice even, quiet. You're wearing my mother's ring. Her fingers curl. She pulls her hand behind her back like I've burned her. 3 guests nearby stop talking. The whispers start again, louder this time, rippling outward. Grant sees it happening. He's losing the room. I can see the calculation on his face, the cost-benefit analysis running in real time. Make a scene or contain this. He chooses wrong. Security, he says, louder than he intends. A few more heads turn. Please escort this young lady out. Two men in dark suits move toward me. Dorothy steps forward. She's been standing 3 feet behind me the entire time. Still, patient, waiting. She holds up a business card. I'm Dorothy Kessler, attorney at law. This young lady is my legal ward as of 10:47 this morning. Removing her from this venue would constitute unlawful interference with a court-appointed guardian. I strongly suggest you step back. The guards stop. They look at each other, then at Maggie Dunn, who's watching from the side. Maggie gives a small nod. They retreat. Grant's face is a mask fighting itself. Victoria leans in, her whisper thin as a blade. Get her out of here before the speech. Too late. The MC is already at the podium. The spotlight swings. A voice fills the room. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome our host for the evening, Grant Merritt. The room applauds. Grant straightens his tie. He has no choice. He walks toward the stage. I take my seat in the front row. Grant takes the stage like a man stepping onto a landmine and pretending it's a dance floor. The spotlight hits him. He smiles, that wide, practiced donor dinner smile, and waits for the applause to settle. Thank you all for being here tonight. This room is full of people who believe in something bigger than themselves, and I'm honored to stand with you. Polite applause. Victoria beams from the front table, hands folded, queen of the evening. Then he says her name. My late wife, Lillian, believed in giving back. She was an artist, a dreamer, and the most generous person I ever knew. My throat tightens. He hasn't said her name to me in years. But here, in front of cameras, he wraps it in gold. Tonight, to honor Lillian's memory, Victoria and I are proud to announce the Merritt Family Foundation, dedicated to arts education for underprivileged youth throughout Fairfield County. More applause, louder now. People nod. This is the part where rich people feel good about being rich. Grant picks up a document from the podium, the asset transfer agreement. I recognize it from the photo I took in his study. He holds up a pen. To fund this mission, I am personally donating the full Lillian Merritt estate, her properties, her art collection, her legacy, to the foundation, effective tonight. The room erupts, standing ovation. Victoria wipes a tear that I'm fairly sure isn't real. Grant signs, pen to paper, right there under the spotlight. 300 people clap like they've just witnessed an act of grace. I don't clap, I watch. And next to me, Dorothy doesn't tense, doesn't panic, doesn't reach for the envelope. She just smiles. Small. Certain. She leans over and whispers 4 words into my ear. Now it's our turn. The applause is still rolling when Dorothy stands. She doesn't rush. She buttons her blazer, picks up the manila envelope, and walks to the stage like she's done this 1,000 times. The MC tries to intercept her. She shows him something. I can't see what, and he steps aside. Dorothy takes the microphone. Excuse me. The room goes quiet. Not all at once. It's a slow drain, like air leaving a balloon. Heads turn. Phones come up. My name is Dorothy Kessler. I'm an estate attorney licensed in the state of Connecticut. I have a court order from Judge Patricia Holloway, issued this morning, freezing all assets of the Lillian Merritt estate. Silence. The kind you can feel on your skin. The document Mr. Merritt just signed is legally invalid. He has no authority to transfer these assets, because they were never his. Grant steps forward. This is ridiculous. Who let this woman... Dorothy doesn't raise her voice. She doesn't need to. These assets belong to Lillian Merritt's sole heir, as designated in her original notarized will, a will Mr. Merritt concealed for 12 years. She turns to me. 300 pairs of eyes follow. I stand. My knees are water. My spine is steel. I walk to the stage. I take the microphone. And I look at my father. My name is Sierra Merritt. Lillian Merritt was my mother. She left a will that names me as her only heir. My father hid it for 12 years. Every property he just tried to donate, the house, the cabin, the art collection, belongs to me. The room doesn't whisper. It erupts. Chairs scrape. Gasps cascade from table to table. A camera flash goes off, then another. Grant grabs the microphone stand. She's a child. She doesn't know what she's... I don't let him finish. You signed away your parental rights on my 16th birthday. You filed the papers the same morning I woke up alone with a note on the fridge calling me a freak. You sent your own daughter away so you could take her inheritance. I hold up the manila envelope. I have the court order. The court has your relinquishment papers, and now every person in this room knows exactly what you did. Dead silence. 300 people. Not a fork moves. Victoria rockets to her feet. This is a scam. That girl has always been... I turn to her. Calm, level, like I'm reading a weather report. Mrs. Merritt? Or should I say Miss Ashford? Since your marriage to my father might not even be legal. Victoria's mouth opens, closes, opens again. The room is no longer whispering. It's roaring. Grant's mask doesn't crack. It shatters. He steps toward me, finger raised, and the word that starts to leave his mouth, "You ungrateful," dies halfway out when he sees the phones. Dozens of them, held up across the ballroom like lighters at a concert, except nobody's cheering for him. He pivots, tries the other voice, the soft one, the concerned father one, the one he uses when the audience is watching. Folks, this is a misunderstanding. My daughter has been troubled. She has emotional difficulties, and she's been influenced by someone who... Dorothy steps forward. She holds up 2 documents like a teacher presenting evidence at a science fair. Mr. Merritt, here is the court order. And here, she raises the second page, is a photocopy of your late wife's will, found in your current wife's personal lockbox, with her handwritten note in red ink. She reads it aloud. Keep this away from S. Victoria's voice is shrill, cracking. I've never seen that before. Dorothy is unmoved. It was verified this morning, your handwriting, your fingerprints. Grant spins toward Victoria, and the thing that comes out of his mouth, the sentence that will follow him for the rest of his life, he says in front of 300 silent witnesses, "You told me you destroyed that." The room inhales. He just confirmed it, all of it, in one sentence. Victoria looks like she's been slapped. Grant realizes what he's done. His hand drops. His jaw works, but nothing comes out. From the VIP table, Chloe stands, mascara already streaking. This is her fault. She always ruins everything. She's... Enough! The voice comes from the side of the room. Maggie Dunn, the club's general manager. She's walked to the nearest microphone, the one by the string quartet. I worked for Lillian Merritt for 5 years. I recognized that bracelet on Sierra's wrist. Lillian never took it off. And Lillian told me more than once that everything she had was for her daughter. A pause. Then someone claps. 1 person, then 5, then 50, then the whole room. Not for Grant, not for the foundation, for me. The applause fades. The room waits. I look at my father. He's still on the stage, but he's alone now. Victoria has stepped back, physically distanced herself, like he's contagious. Chloe is sobbing at the VIP table, her black gown twisted in her lap. The councilmen and the board members have quietly moved to the back of the room. No one is standing near Grant Merritt. I could destroy him right now. I could read the email. The girl doesn't need to know anything, out loud, and let the Herald reporter print it tomorrow. I could wave Victoria's marriage certificate and watch the gasps multiply. I don't, because that's not why I'm here. I take a breath. I speak into the microphone. My voice isn't loud. It doesn't need to be. I didn't come here tonight to humiliate anyone. I came because you were about to give away everything my mother left for me, and I couldn't let that happen. The room is still. I spent 12 years in that house, the smallest room, the last seat at the table, the one face missing from the family portrait. I spent 12 years being called a freak by people you chose over me, 12 years trying to earn a love that was never coming. I look directly at him, at the man who used to carry me on his shoulders. I'm done trying. He flinches. It's small, but I see it. 300 other people see it too. I'm not asking for your apology. I don't need it. The estate belongs to me. The court has confirmed it, and I'm leaving tonight with my guardian, Dorothy Kessler, who, unlike you, kept her promise to my mother. I touch the bracelet on my wrist. The little star charm is warm from my skin. Mom, I say, softly enough that only the front row can hear, I kept it safe, just like you asked. I turn from the stage and walk down the center aisle. Dorothy falls in beside me. Our heels click and sink on the hardwood floor. Behind us, silence first, then applause. Not polite applause, the real kind, the kind that has weight. I don't look back. We make it to the lobby before my legs give out. Dorothy catches my arm. Sit, she says, guiding me to a bench near the coat check. Breathe. You did it. My hands are shaking. My whole body is shaking. But something in my chest, something that's been clenched tight since I was 4 years old, is finally letting go. Through the glass doors to the ballroom, I can see the fallout unfolding in real time. Grant is standing at the podium, alone, staring at the signed document that is now worth nothing. 2 board members are speaking in low, urgent tones near the bar. The Herald reporter is scribbling in a notebook so fast her hand is a blur. Victoria is nowhere in the ballroom. Then I spot her, through a side window, in the parking lot, pacing, phone pressed to her ear. She's calling someone. The call isn't connecting. She tries again. Again. Richard Ashford, Victoria's cousin, the foundation's lawyer, is walking very quickly toward the exit, briefcase in hand, not making eye contact with anyone. Chloe hasn't moved. She's sitting at the VIP table alone. Mascara tracks down both cheeks, staring at her phone like it holds some answer. It doesn't. And then there's Brandon. He's standing near the exit, apart from all of them. He catches my eye through the glass, and he does something I didn't expect. He nods. One small, slow nod. I don't nod back, but I don't look away either. Maggie Dunn appears at my side. She's carrying a small envelope, old, slightly yellowed at the edges. Your mother left this with me 15 years ago, she says. She said, give it to Sierra when she's old enough to fight for herself. I open it. Inside is a photograph, the same image I found in Victoria's lockbox, but this is the original. Unwrinkled. Unfolded. Mom holding me. Laughing. The bracelet on her wrist. On the back, her handwriting. My little star, you are enough. I close my eyes. Dorothy puts her arm around me. Let's go home, Sierra. That moment, walking out of that ballroom with 300 people watching, I won't lie, my knees were shaking. My hands were shaking. I think even my voice was shaking. But something inside me was steady. For the first time in 16 years, something inside me was steady. Like my mom was walking with me. Like she'd been waiting for me to stop standing in the corner and finally cross the room. Have you ever had a moment like that? A moment where you finally said enough? Not screaming it, not slamming doors, just saying it, calmly, and meaning it. I'd love to hear about it. Drop it in the comments. And if you're still watching, thank you. You're the reason I'm sharing this. 1 week later. I'm sitting at Dorothy's kitchen table in New Haven, eating scrambled eggs she made from scratch, when the phone rings. She picks up, listens for 40 seconds and hangs up. That was the court clerk. The judge reviewed the full file. Lillian's will is upheld. All properties returned to the trust under my management until you turn 18. I set my fork down. All of them? All of them. The house, the cabin, the land in Maine, what's left of the education fund. Everything. Grant has 60 days to vacate the Westport house, the house my mother bought. The house he raised another woman's children in while hiding my existence from the one person who was supposed to protect me. The Merritt Family Foundation is under investigation. The State Attorney General's office opened a preliminary inquiry into whether the charitable donation constituted fraudulent asset transfer. Victoria has been called in for a deposition. The Fairfield Herald ran the story 3 days after the gala. Front page of the local section. Gala host confronted by daughter over hidden will. Grant's photo, mid-speech, mouth open, caught in that fraction of a second where his face hasn't decided which lie to tell next. Victoria filed for divorce, but the filing was suspended because Dorothy quietly submitted the Nevada marriage certificate to the court. If Victoria was still legally married to Paul Renner when she married Grant, the second marriage may be void, which means Victoria has no spousal claim to any of Grant's assets. None. Chloe's tuition account at NYU is under review. If the funds are traced back to my mother's education trust, which Dorothy says they will be, Chloe may have to repay them. I think about all of this. Then I eat my eggs. Dorothy watches me from across the table. How do you feel? I think about it honestly. Free, I say. I feel free. 2 weeks after the gala, my phone rings. Caller ID, Brandon Merritt. I almost don't answer. My thumb hovers over the screen for 3 full rings. Then I pick up. Hey. His voice is quieter than I remember, stripped down. Hey. Long pause. The kind where you can hear someone gathering courage. I'm not calling to ask for anything, he says. I just wanted to say, you did the right thing, and I'm sorry I didn't do it sooner. Any of it. I lean against the window in my new room, Dorothy's guest room, which has a view of an oak tree and more sunlight than I've had in years. Where are you? I ask. Staying with a friend in Bridgeport. I moved out the day after the gala. He lets out a breath. First time in my life I'm not using Mom's credit card for anything. It's weird, but it's good. How's everyone else? Mom is furious. She's calling lawyers all day. Dad won't talk to anyone. He just sits in the study with the door closed. Chloe blames you. A pause. But I think they're angry at themselves. They just don't know how to admit it. I let the silence sit. It's not uncomfortable. It's just honest. I don't hate you, Brandon. I don't hate any of you. I know. But I can't pretend it didn't happen. I need distance, real distance, not the kind where we all smile at Thanksgiving and act like the last 12 years were normal. I understand. And I think he actually does. If you ever want to talk, no pressure. You know how to reach me. Same goes for you, I say. But I'm not coming back to that house. I wouldn't ask you to. We hang up. I sit by the window for a while. The oak tree sways in the wind, and the late afternoon light makes everything gold. I'm not sad. I'm not happy. I'm something in between. Something I think might be peace. A month after the gala, Dorothy hands me an envelope that arrived through her office. From your father, she says, through his attorney. I open it at the kitchen table. The stationery is thick. Grant Merritt's personal letterhead, cream-colored, embossed. Even now, he can't stop performing. I read it once, slowly. Sierra, I hope you understand that everything I did was to protect this family's reputation. Your mother's estate was complicated, and I made decisions I thought were best. I wish you hadn't made this public. It didn't need to go this far. Grant. I read it again. No mention of the note. No mention of the 12 years. No mention of the word freak written in pink highlighter and stuck to the fridge like a grocery reminder. No mention of my birthday. No mention of the bracelet he tried to give to Chloe, or the education fund he drained, or the email where he called me the girl. Not one word of apology. Are you going to reply? Dorothy asks. No. I fold the letter along its creases neatly, the way he'd want. He's still performing. Even in a letter, he's performing. Dorothy nods like she expected that answer. I open the drawer where I keep Mom's letter and set Grant's beside it. I don't rip it up. I don't burn it. I don't throw it away. I just put it down. And I walk away. Because that's what you do with things that no longer have power over you. You set them down. Then I notice something else inside the envelope, wrapped in tissue paper at the bottom. My mother's engagement ring, the round-cut diamond with the 2 sapphires, the one Victoria wore to the gala. No note, no explanation, just the ring. I hold it up to the window. It catches the light the same way it did on Victoria's finger, except now, for the first time, it looks like it's home. I slip it on. It fits. Mom's letter, Mom's dress, Mom's bracelet, Mom's ring. Piece by piece, she's coming back to me. 6 months later. I'm sitting cross-legged on the floor of Dorothy's apartment in New Haven, painting. Not anything good. I'm still learning. Right now it's a bowl of oranges that looks more like a pile of softballs. But the brush feels right in my hand. the same way it must have felt in Mom's. Dorothy hung my first painting, a watercolor of the oak tree outside my window, on the living room wall, right above the couch. She didn't ask permission. She just did it, the way you do things for people who belong in your home. I go to a new school. It's smaller than Westport, no lacrosse team, no college counselor with a waiting list. But I have friends for the first time. Real ones. 2 girls from my art class who don't know a thing about the merit gala, and I like it that way. The Westport house is under the trust now. I haven't been back. I'm not ready. Maybe next year. Maybe never. Dorothy says there's no rush, and I believe her. The cabin in Vermont, that's different. Dorothy and I drove up last weekend. It's small, tucked into the Green Mountains, with a porch that faces east so you get the sunrise. When I walked in, I stopped breathing. Mom's paintings were still on the walls. Grant never came here. He never touched this place. It was like stepping into a room she'd just left. Her brushes were still in a coffee can on the windowsill. Her hiking boots were by the door. I sat on the porch for 2 hours, wrapped in a quilt that smelled like cedar, watching the trees turn gold and red. On my wrist, the silver bracelet. On my right hand, Mom's ring. "She would have loved seeing you here," Dorothy said from the doorway. "I think she can see me, wherever she is. I think she's been watching this whole time. I'm 16 and I'm starting over. That should feel scary. It doesn't. It feels like breathing. People ask me if I regret it, if I wish I'd done it differently, quieter, more private, without the stage and the spotlight and the 300 witnesses with their phones out. Honestly? No. Not because I wanted to embarrass anyone, but because silence was what kept me trapped for 12 years. My father counted on my silence. Victoria counted on it. Chloe counted on it. They built an entire life on the assumption that I would keep being small, keep being quiet, keep eating alone in the kitchen, and sleeping in the smallest room, and pretending that "don't make this harder than it needs to be" was love. It wasn't love. It was control. And the only way to break it was to say the truth out loud. In a room full of people. Where no one could rewrite it. I learned something on that stage. You don't need someone's permission to exist. You don't need to earn the right to be seen. And you definitely don't need to shrink yourself so other people feel bigger. I also learned something about family. Family isn't blood. It's not a last name or a Christmas portrait or a seat at a gala table. Family is the woman who drives 12 years to find you. Family is the person who keeps your mother's dress in a closet because she believes someday you'll need it. Family is a quilt on a porch in Vermont and a painting hung on the wall without asking. Dorothy is my family. And for the first time in my life, I know what that word actually means. So if you're out there, if you're reading this in a house where you feel invisible, where the people who should love you make you feel like you're too much and not enough at the same time, I want you to know something. It's not you. It was never you. You don't owe your silence to people who wouldn't give you theirs. And you don't have to wait until someone finds you. You can find yourself. This morning, I stood in front of the mirror in my room. My room, with the oak tree view and the paint-stained desk, and the door I can close whenever I want. Mom's cream-white dress hangs on the back of the closet door. I wore it once, and I'll wear it again, but not for anyone else, for me. I opened my laptop and found an email from school. I've been accepted into the advanced painting program for the spring semester. My art teacher wrote a note at the bottom. "Sierra, your use of light reminds me of someone. Keep going." I smiled. Not a victory smile. Not the kind you put on for cameras. The quiet kind. The kind that starts in your chest and moves outward, slowly, like sunrise over the Green Mountains. On my desk, 2 letters. One from Mom. Soft paper, gentle words, 16 years of love folded into a single page. One from Grant. Stiff letterhead, hollow words, 12 years of silence disguised as strategy. I keep them both. Not because I forgive him. I'm not there yet. Maybe I will be. Maybe I won't. That's my choice now. I keep them because remembering where you've been is how you know how far you've come. Outside the window, it's autumn in New Haven. The oak tree is golden. The sky is sharp and blue and impossibly wide. And I'm here. Breathing. Painting. Starting over. Not the girl from the third-floor room. Not the freak on the note. My mother's daughter. Dorothy's family. My own person. Sierra Merritt. 16. Enough. That's my story. And if you made it all the way to the end, thank you. Really. It means more than you know. If this story reminded you of someone or something you've been through, share it. Sometimes knowing you're not alone is the first step. And if you want to hear what happened next, because trust me, there's more. I'll leave the link in the description. Like, subscribe, and hit that bell if you haven't already. I'll see you in the next one. Stay strong. You are enough.